It must come soon, he knows, the call he has dreaded since childhood. 10 days of ceremonial will follow, with plans and protocols guiding his every move, agreed more than a decade ago, and recently updated to reflect departures from the front ranks of his family. For months, senior officials pored over the choreography, considered the symbolism, perfected a message of reassurance and renewal. For all this, they left their leading player without a route map for navigating the conflict at the heart of the pageant. In becoming king, Charles loses much that he holds dear, and this is just the beginning of an inventory of pain and risk. His entire life has been shaped and distorted by a singular destiny: to inherit the crown, preserve it, and pass it on. Until recently, only the first of these duties appeared daunting. The love of a son for his mother, his flinch from contemplating her death, the rawness of grief when that moment comes. These things should be obvious, and will be to anyone who knows him. Even then, and despite the fact that he will be relentlessly on show during the rituals of accession and state commemoration, he cannot rely on uninflected sympathy. This isn't merely because most of the countries Queen Elizabeth II has served as head of state will mark her passing, though they will voluminously, or that media coverage everywhere will be inescapable and protracted, the tears and tributes of people brought up to articulate emotions perhaps more relatable than his. Prominent deaths also force us to contemplate our own losses, fears, and fragility, and the Queen is the most famous woman in the world. She has been a presence, however remote, for close to a century. Only a tiny fraction of the global population has ever experienced life without her. In February 2022, she passed a milestone: 70 years on the throne, the longest reigning British monarch in history. She has come to define the role, set its terms, model a way to do it and be it, but the connection goes deeper. Everywhere, people dream of her without knowing why. She is entangled, though we may not yet realize to what extent, with our own memories. For many, she embodies constancy, immunity to fad and fashion, perhaps a false promise of immortality. When she dies, the wash of anguish, inchoate and profound, could buoy her heir or submerge him. The stones of his past weigh him down. Perceptions of public figures are coloured not only by social attitudes, but narratives that, once sown, prove tougher to eradicate than ground elder. The Prince of Wales, in divorcing the only woman as instantly recognisable as the Queen, and many times more expressive, inadvertently typecast himself as coldly passionless, intensely self-involved. Though there is some merit to the second point, the first couldn't be further from the truth. Charles brims with emotion. Nevertheless, if he endures the rites for his mother immobile and outwardly unmoved, as he has been trained, and as she would want him to do, then he risks reinforcing that old myth.